Have you ever had a crush so big that it felt like your chest would burst every time you saw them? But the words just wouldn't come out? Well, there was once a man who knew that feeling all too well. He lived next door to a girl he'd admired for as long as he could remember. She was the sun, the moon, and all the stars to him. But he was just the quiet guy next door. Every morning he'd watch her leave for the day, and every evening he'd see her come home, his heart doing a little flip-flop each time. He dreamed of talking to her, of asking her about her day, of making her laugh. But his courage always failed him at the last second. The words would get stuck in his throat, and he'd just offer a shy, awkward wave if he was lucky. He couldn't speak to her, but he had to do something. His feelings were too strong to keep bottled up inside. So, he started to write. He poured his heart out onto small pieces of paper, writing simple, honest love letters. They weren't grand poems or fancy declarations, just little confessions. I saw you smile today and it made my whole day better. I hope you have a wonderful day. You have the most beautiful laugh I've ever heard. Each letter was a small piece of his heart, folded carefully, a secret message meant only for her. But how could he get them to her without revealing himself? He tried everything. He tried to discreetly slip them under her door, but he was always too nervous. He thought about leaving them in her mailbox, but that felt too risky. So, he came up with a new plan. He started folding his little confessions into paper airplanes. Each one carried a simple message of his affection. Late at night, when the world was quiet and still, he would stand by his window, take a deep breath, and launch a tiny paper plane toward her house. He'd watch as it glided through the air, a silent messenger on a mission of love. Some would land on her lawn, some would get stuck in the bushes, and a few, just a few, might make it to her doorstep. He never knew if she found them, if she read them, or if the wind just carried them away like his unspoken words. It was a hopeless romantic gesture, a one-sided conversation with the girl of his dreams. He sent dozens of these paper planes over the months, each one a little prayer sent out into the night. This went on for what felt like an eternity. His collection of paper and pens dwindled, but his feelings for her only grew stronger. He was stuck in this cycle of silent admiration, too scared to bridge the small gap between their houses. He was beginning to lose hope, thinking maybe he was destined to just admire her from afar forever. But fate, as it often does, had a different plan. One quiet afternoon, as her father was doing some gardening, he noticed something peculiar nestled among the rose bushes. It was a small, slightly crumpled paper airplane. Curious, he picked it up and carefully unfolded it. His eyes scanned the simple, heartfelt words written inside. It wasn't a long letter, just a few lines about his daughter's kindness and her beautiful smile. The father stood there for a moment, the little paper plane in his hand. He recognized the boy next door, the quiet one who always seemed a bit shy. He'd seen him looking over at their house from time to time. He could have been angry. He could have marched over there and demanded an explanation. But instead, a gentle smile spread across his face. He saw not a creepy stalker, but a young man in the throes of a classic innocent crush. He folded the letter back up and walked inside. He found his daughter in the living room, reading a book. He quietly walked over to her, his expression soft and knowing. He held out the paper airplane. "I think," he said gently, "the boy next door has a crush on you." In that one moment, everything changed. The secret he had guarded so carefully, the feelings he had folded into countless paper planes, were finally out in the open. Not through his own voice, not through a grand, brave gesture, but through a small paper messenger found by a kind father. The girl took the airplane, her eyes wide with surprise. She unfolded it and read the words, a blush slowly creeping up her cheeks. She looked out her window toward his house, seeing him in a completely new light. The silent admirer was no longer a secret. His love letters, launched on wings of paper and hope, had finally reached their destination. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is just let your feelings be known, even if it's in the quietest way imaginable. You never know who might find your message and deliver it for you. What do you think? Have you ever done something creative to get a crush's attention? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this one. See you next time.